I try to do cowboy poetry up here sometimes. Now this might not sound like a cowboy poem, but it was written and performed by John Wayne. And you can't get any more cowboy than John Wayne. It's also a patriotic poem, and you can't get any more patriotic than John Wayne. Okay? So, as I told someone here earlier, someone will get offended by this poem. Okay? Now the people that could or should get offended by the poem will not be offended. It's going to be somebody else. I get a kick out of this. But if I offend you, please tell me. And I have two words for you if you don't like this poem, or one hyphenated word, un-American. The hyphen, Webster's dictionary defines, is a symbol used to divide a compound word or a single word. So it seems to me that when a man calls himself African American, Mexican American, Italian American, Irish American, Jewish American, what he's saying is that I'm a divided American. Well, we all come from from other places, different creeds and different races, to form a nation, to become as one. Yet look at the harm a little line has done. A simple little line, and yet as divisive as a line can get. A crooked cross. The Nazis flew, and the Russian hammer and sickle too. Time bombs in the lives of man. But none of these could ever fan the flames of hatred faster than the hyphen. The Russian hammer built a wall that locks men's hearts from freedom's call. A crooked cross flew overhead, above 20 million tragic dead. Among the men from this great nation who died for freedom's preservation. A hyphen is a line that's small. It can build a bridge or a wall. A bridge can save you lots of time. A wall, you always have to climb. The road to liberty lies true. The hyphen's use is up to you. Used as a bridge, it can span all the differences of a man. Being free of mind and soul should be our most important goal. If you use the hyphen as a wall, you'll make your life mean and small. An American is a special breed whose people came to her in need. They came to her that they might find a world where they would have peace of mind, where men are equal and something more, stand taller than they stood before. So you be wise in your decision, and that little line won't cause division. Let's join hands with one another, for in this land each man's your brother. United we stand, divided we fall. We're American. That says it all. Now, I'm not John Wayne, and if you want to hear it really good, look that rascal up on YouTube and read John Wayne's rendition of it. All right.
Lee can recite.
Huh?
Lee can recite.
Yeah, all right. Now, I am, and I've said often, you know, I am heavy on the Irish side. But I can't use that hyphen because I've also got Scottish, and Dutch, and Welsh, and so I've decided I'm going to be Heinz 57 American. But the thing is, I can't stand in one place. The thing is, yes, in a way, he had it right when we use our hyphen use our heritage as well as our American status. Now, I have a son, two sons, and a daughter who were born in Germany, of a German mother and an American father, so they are quite literally German-American, hold dual citizenship. However, most of us, born and raised here in America, are Americans. Now, as he was saying, that hyphen can build a bridge or a wall. Yes, I am heavy on the Irish side, but I have no desire to live in Ireland. I like where I'm at. A hyphen can also mean your heritage. All right? And being proud of your heritage, there's nothing wrong with that. I don't see that the problem in saying I'm African American, Jewish American, Irish American, Heinz 57 American, whatever you want to say. There's really nothing, if you're using that, to be proud of your history, your heritage. Because without history, we wouldn't know where we're at and where we're going. That being said, in the Bible, See if I can turn to the right one first. Man. Okay. In the Bible, Paul was talking about the body. This is in 1 Corinthians 12. 1 Corinthians 12:12. 1 Corinthians 12:12. Hey, there's more people turning than there used to be. I like that. All right. 1 Corinthians 12:12 says the body is a unit. Though it's made up of many parts, and though all of its parts are many, they form one body. So it is with Christ. For we are all baptized by the body. We are all baptized in one spirit into the body, whether Jews, Greeks, slave, or free, and we are all given the one spirit to drink. Now the body is not made up of one part, but of many. If the foot should say, because I am the hand, if the foot should say, because I am not a hand, I do not belong to the body, it would not be for that reason. Man, I can't read this sucker, just a second. Getting old. All right. I can see. Because I am not a hand, I do not belong to the body. It would not for that reason cease to be part of the body. And if the ear should say, because I'm not an eye, I do not belong to the body, it would not for that reason cease to be part of the body. If the whole body were one eye, where would the sense of hearing be? If the whole body were one ear, where would the sense of smell be? But in fact, God has arranged the parts of the body, every one of them, just as He wanted them to be. I'm going to stop there because He goes on and says it about three different times, 3 different ways. Now, I've also heard people saying, well, because there's denominations, Christians are divided. No, that's not true. It's not true. I have lifelong, very good friends who are African American. Their culture, in his upbringing, his culture was vastly different from mine. I have friends, lifelong great friends, who are from the northeastern part of the state, northeastern part of the country. Their culture is strange. No, I'm joking. Their culture is vastly different from the one I grew up in. And he's fixing to throw something at me. I have people from California. They're really different. But the thing is, we're all one part of the body of Christ. Now, a denomination, by Webster's Dictionary, I love this, is an autonomous branch of Christianity. Autonomous. I was 45 years old before I even heard the word autonomous, and was 50 before I ever actually looked it up to see what the heck it meant. But it just means that we govern ourselves. All right. So autonomous branch of the Christian church. So Catholic, Church of Christ, Church of God, Assembly of God, Pentecostal, Baptist, Lutheran, Catholic Light, or what other denomination that you might have different interpretations on how to serve Christ. But they all have one thing in common. That you confess with your mouth Jesus is Lord and believe in your heart God raised Him from the dead and you are saved. You become a Christian by having a personal relationship with God. Now, after that, if your interpretation says that you don't have accompaniment when you sing, and you say, that's what we need to do, does that mean you're not saved? No. There are differences in the way we do things, but we are all one body. In the Revelations, in the first chapter of Revelations, and you go through there, and he'll talk about different churches, to the church of Laodicea, to the church of Philadelphia, a church, I can't even remember all the other ones. Philadelphia is not the one in Pennsylvania, by the way. But he talks about, and he'll say this, he'll say, boy, this is a lovely one. Smyrna. Get that one. These are the words to him who is the first and last, who died and came to life again. I know your afflictions and your poverty, yet you are rich. I know the slander of those who say you're Jews, and you're not, but a synagogue of Satan. And he'll go and give them praise, and then he says, I have this against you. And then he goes through in the church of Pergam. He talks about how their tongue is like a sharp-edged sword, and he has this against them. And then the church of Laodicea, the one I like to preach about, and it says, you're lukewarm, you're neither hot nor cold, and I'll spew you out of my mouth. He talks about these things you have that are not going along with what I have said. You're trying to serve Baal and Christ at the same time. In Luke, Christ was walking through, and I'm going to tell you the verse, and I'm going to paraphrase it because I put my glasses back up. Okay. Anyway, in Luke, this would be 11:14. Luke 11:14. Christ was there, and he healed a man. He cast out a demon, cast out a mute demon. And the religious folks says, he's casting out demons in the name of Beelzebub, which is the prince of demons. Christ said, why would I, if I were serving Satan, why would I cast out demons? You cast out demons in the name of God. I do it also by the finger of God. But you don't see that. A house divided cannot stand. That's exactly what he said. His words, a house divided cannot stand. Okay, a translation of his words, because I don't speak Greek. But what he's saying is, you cannot serve God and Satan. And he says it in there as well. If you serve God and Satan at the same time, you will hate one and love the other. So if you are saying, I'm a Christian, I serve God, that's who I'm standing for, I will stand for him till the day I die, and then live like the devil, he says that also. With their mouths they praise me, but their hearts are far from me. You can only serve one God. Now, when I was in the Army, we had folks that went, and I was not part of this, by the way, but we had folks that went into, let's say Vietnam era. They went to the mountain yards in Vietnam, and they would work with that culture and teach them to fight on our side. Now, there were some of the guys that would work with the Americans and say, yeah, I'm all for you, I'm with you, and they're like barbers and stuff. They were cutting their hair and giving them shaves. And then that night they would be throwing satchel charges at the fence. They were a house divided. And they were caught and they were dealt with severely. But today, we are Christ, we are for Christ, we're with Christ, and if we don't serve Him, we're not sold out to Him, we're divided. So you need to search yourself. Search your heart. Who do I stand for? Joshua of Nun stood in the Holy Land, in the Promised Land, and had all of Israel gathered by him. And he said, look, you need to choose. I can't even speak. You need to pick and choose. You need to pick and choose who you want to serve. You want to serve the gods of Egypt from which you came? You want to serve the gods of the land that you're in? Or do you want to serve the one true living God? I mean, you choose the other gods or choose God. It doesn't matter. Choose today who you will serve. As far as me and my family, we'll serve the Lord. Today we're going to celebrate the sacrifice that Christ made on the cross. We're going to have the Lord's Supper. But I challenge you. Search yourself. Search your heart. Are you sold out to God? Have you started a relationship with Him? Are you part of His family, a part of His body? If not, it's an easy way to start. And I'll lead you in a prayer. It's a short, simple prayer. And just follow me in it. Lord, I come to you today asking you to forgive me of my sins. Lord, I don't want to be a partial Christian. Lord, I want to be all the way for you. I know I'll stumble and fall, Lord, but I want to be on your arms. I want you to guide me here. Guide me right on into heaven. Lord, I ask these things in your name. Amen. One thing I didn't say, you don't hear a lot of people who are Christian who are saying, well, I am a Buddhist Christian. I am an Islamic Christian. That one I've never heard. I can't think of the others. Other religions, I'm drawing a blank, but you're either a Christian or you're not. Let's ask a blessing on this. And I ask you, I'm going to give you a chance when it's served to pray and ask God to cleanse your heart. Lord, I come today asking forgiveness for I've fallen short. Lord, and I want to lift up this Holy Communion to you, Lord, and I pray that you just bless it to our bodies and our bodies to your service. I pray that we partake of this with only one thought in mind. That it's a celebration of the sacrifice that you made to us. I ask a blessing on folks that prepared this, blessing on the ones that are serving. Lord, and I pray that you just open our hearts and our minds and our bodies to you, that we give everything to you, and we're completely sold out. We ask these things in your name. Amen. As we have gathered here, so did Christ gather with the folks, with his disciples in the upper room. After the feast of the Passover, he said, I waited so long to partake of this feast with you. He said, he took the bread and he broke it. And he said, this is my body, being broken for you. Likewise, he took a cup and he blessed it and he passed it around. He said, this is my cup. This cup is my blood, new covenant, which is spilled for you. As often as you drink of this cup and eat of the body, that you do this in remembrance of me. Today we're doing is remembering the sacrifice. Christ was not killed. He was sacrificed, and he willingly gave up his life. He said himself that no man will take my life, but I'll give it freely. I ask you today, as we take of this, you think of that sacrifice. And I ask you to make sure that your heart is pure and cleansed. If you have something in your heart against your brother or your sister, ask God to forgive you. Then go to your brother or sister and give forgiveness or ask forgiveness where it's due. It doesn't take a very strong person to hold a grudge, to carry a grudge. But it takes a really strong person to lay one down. I'm going to give you all a chance to talk to God on your own. Then I'll lead us in a word of prayer. Lord, come to you today asking forgiveness. Lord, lifting up this holy communion to you, that we remember not only today, but every day, that this is your body that was broken for us and your blood that is shed for us. Lord, a small token that we can do that brings glory to you in the sacrifices you made. Lord, I pray that you just come into our hearts. Lord, open us up to your word. Open our ears that we can hear you. Lord, I ask these things in your name. Amen. As the band comes on up and plays us some more songs, I will tell you one more thing. Funny one. On my way in today, I had to stop and get gas. But what reminded me of this was Sean and Alex up here. But I was driving in, stopped to get gas. I got out of my car and was pumping it, and I noticed I was getting a lot of strange looks. And I wasn't sure whether it was the way I was dressed or the fact that ZZ Top was blaring out of my speakers. Might have been a combination of both. But, exactly. I think it was Tush is where that was blowing out. But I thought to myself, you know, if the people only knew what kind of enjoyment it is working for the Lord, that you don't have to give up the things that you love, the music, the fellowship. You don't have to give up these things that you love, but the joy of God enhances those. And then I smiled at everybody as they were looking at me strange, and I said, God bless you.